Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Housing. It is November 2nd, and I'm Corey Shields.
I'm Michael Williams.
And we are going to talk about what's going on in the world of real estate currently. So, Michael, let's start with the Zillow iBuying program that they have put a halt on. That was a headline maybe the past week or two, and they are sitting on about 7,000 houses that they are going to be unloading. What do you take from that? What do you think their motivation is to put a halt on that?
So I thought it was interesting for sure because we've read so much over the last 6 months about the iBuying program and how Zillow wants to buy your house. And we've got an agent that works with us here at Keller whose son actually sold his house to Zillow, and they essentially overpaid for it. You know, based on all the data that we had, it looked like they were overpaying, and so he sold it to them. And so they've been very aggressive leading up till that announcement. So it's weird to me that they would make that announcement and just completely halt the program. So as a buyer in the marketplace right now, I don't know that it changes your behavior yet, but it certainly makes you say, what does this mean, right? So if it's just one company, maybe it's, just inside of that company that the problem is, right? But it may be the whole industry that needs to have a look, right? So if Zillow's the first that stops and nothing else happens, and it's just because Zillow had bad financials or maybe made some bad decisions on buying some houses, okay, good. It's contained to that one company. But if it starts to spread through the industry of the iBuyers, like Opendoor is another iBuyer that basically has built their entire technology and their entire business around flipping houses. So they'll make an offer. We should probably define what iBuyer is. So you want to define that, or you want me to?
Take it away.
Okay. So an iBuyer is basically a large real estate company, typically, that will make you an offer, like a guaranteed offer on your house without even seeing it. You put in a bunch of information, their algorithm takes that information and then spits out an offer to you. So it typically is a little lower than maybe what the retail price would be, but it's at least attractive enough that you would consider the difference in those two numbers to be like a convenience fee, basically. Like if they let you choose the date you want to move out of your house, if they tell you you don't have to fix anything and they'll fix it for you, and for that they offer you 13% less. I'm just making up a number, but if they offer you a certain percentage less than what the house would normally sell in the open market, that might be worth it for you. You've got a 6% real estate commission. You probably have a couple of grand in closing, or maybe as high as 2 or 3% in closing. You start adding all those things in, and we really need to fix the back deck that has some rotten boards on it. Well, okay, all of a sudden that 13% looks attractive. So that's the typical model. They'll try to discount it to a point that it makes sense for you to sell it to them instead of in the open market. So that's kind of the iBuyer model. And so Zillow has now bought so many houses that they are not selling at the price they bought them for. They're actually selling them lower, that I think they just hit the wall and said, we can't buy anymore. We don't need to buy anymore because we're losing money. There's an article 2 or 3 months ago, I guess, that said Zillow averages $40,000 loss on every house they do through this iBuyer program. So maybe they were making it up in volume. You lose 40, hey, we'll just do it faster. So yeah, I don't know. So that was crazy, but I'm not concerned yet, but I'm certainly paying attention. As most of you guys know, we flip houses as well. So if you and I find out that Opendoor is going to stop buying, and then Keller Offers is going to stop buying, then we know it's a trend through the industry, and that makes us pause for sure. What it actually probably does, if I hear 3 in the same industry change that behavior, I'm going to change my behavior too. I'm going to probably not flip as many. Right now, I think we have 5 that we are in process of some form or fashion. So I would probably take the one that has the least amount of work done to it so far and just stop work and wholesale it and say, hey, here's a great deal for a flipper that still wants to be in the market, right? I did the same thing in 2020 when the coronavirus news started spreading. I had a flip that I was ready to start on, but I stopped the production and said, okay, we're not going to flip the house. We're just going to wholesale it. So I sold it, made a few grand, and felt good about it. The other guy made, 30, 40 grand probably. But I just took the road of less risk because I didn't know what was going to happen with the lockdowns. At the moment, it looked like a great decision that I made. Hindsight being what it is, I probably should have just flipped the house and made a ton of money. But I I took the road of less risk. And so, again, if it happens this time, I don't look back at 2020 and think that was a bad move. I actually think that was the right move and the smart move.
Right.
The odds were against real estate going up dramatically in 2020 when we first heard about this virus that was supposed to like kill us all. So it turned out to be the right decision, even though I made less money. So I will do that again if Open Door and Keller Offers say, hey, we're not going to buy any more houses for the rest of 2021. It's going to change my behavior. So right now I'm watching.
So when you read those articles about the Zillow iBuying program, and then they point the blame towards not being able to find contractors or material shortages and expenses and such, what you're saying is maybe you think that there's more to the story than that? You don't think it's all just that? Maybe that's their public front?
I would say Zillow has a track record of telling us one thing and their behavior being something else. And so I'm not going to go just believe everything I read on the internet. I'm going to do a little research and find out if that is indeed what is happening. Now, their statement is accurate. I don't know that the accurate statement also lines up with the reality. The limited contractors didn't cause them to lose 40 grand on every house they sold in the
exactly
beginning.
What I was thinking.
Yeah, like it's like the Southwest Airlines thing, when all the pilots called in sick and they said, oh, we have bad weather. Well, true, there was some bad weather at one airport, but you canceled flights all over the country, and all the other carriers didn't cancel flights all over the country. So was it bad weather? Yes, it was an accurate statement. In San Francisco that weekend, there was bad weather, but not in Austin, Texas, where you also canceled a bunch of flights. So it's like, American Airlines didn't have that same problem until this past weekend. Same thing happened in American Airlines. They blamed the bad weather, which was true. In some part of the country, there was bad weather, but it was really all of those pilots calling in sick because they didn't like the mandate. So it can be true and not the reason that you're doing something. And so just in our own small business that we have, certainly not comparing ourselves to Zillow, but we are still buying houses. But there is one in particular house that you and I have looked at that we can't get a contractor to quote, and so we haven't bought the house yet. We didn't announce to the world we're not buying houses anymore, period, full stop. No, we can't find a contractor for this house. Zillow can't tell me that they're having to stop buying all over the country because of the supply shortage of contractors in Phoenix.
Right.
I don't think that's accurate. So
for now, I guess basically we'll observe what Zillow's up to, and then if their competitors kind of start following the same trend, at that point maybe we need to consider maybe this is a more large scale thing going on with the market.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not advising buyers of ours at this point to change their strategy today, but I will if that happens.
So next item on the list, Keller Williams started a real estate school.
Yeah, how about that?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have expected that, but I guess it makes sense. When we talked about it off the camera, I kind of get the idea now, but what do you know about that?
So you nailed it when you asked me off camera. You're like, why would they do that? And then you answered your own question. So, Corey, why would they start a real estate school?
It would make sense that Keller Williams would start a real estate school so that their students would
come to Keller.
Come to Keller Williams. How about that?
Yeah.
Genius.
That's a genius.
I can't believe it took that long to come up with that.
At what point over the last 50 years did they not go, you know what would be great?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just get them from the start. So is it up and going, or is that like a...
It is. There's an article on Inman News today. So Inman News, for those of you that don't know, is like the real estate news aggregator. So it's like CNN for the real estate world, for the real estate agent world. And so Inman launched an article today. It's like, hey, Keller Williams launches this new real estate school. And you click on the article and it's like, here's the information and enroll here. You click the button, it takes you to the enrollment page. So cool. It's live and functioning and ready to go. I'll tell you, one of the brilliant moves in it too is, what's the one thing that you hear me say and that most people say when they come out of real estate school about the school itself?
I'm not prepared for this job.
Exactly. That's right. I thought you were going to say I'm not prepared for this question because that was a surprise. But no, what they say is, yeah, I passed the class. I absolutely know nothing about selling real estate now. And so That is the case. So Keller actually is mixing in models with what you need to know for the school to pass the test, but also what it means to be a real estate agent and how you can be good at this job, and like how they prepare you for the job is the difference maker to me. Like when we go to the Georgia Real Estate Commission's website and it lists 150 schools, I asked you a very important question. I said, which school did you take? And you said...
The cheaper one that I found.
Yeah.
That I can't even remember.
Whichever one was cheapest, and I have no idea what the name of it was.
Or
right?
whichever one I had a coupon code for.
So that might be the case, but what if beside it was Keller Williams Real Estate School? Here's how you actually learn how to be good. You probably would have clicked that link if there's this other module that comes with it. The other thing they're doing is some like video training and stuff. So it's almost like you're kind of feeling like you're in the classroom. So it's online, but yet you still have interaction. So yeah, it's like the best of both worlds. One of the things that I hear a lot of people complain about is just all online learning, and I need a teacher. Like I need somebody to interact with. So they're kind of mixing that in too. So I feel like they've got a great idea. Now, I haven't gone through the class. I haven't researched it at all. But what they're saying the class is going to be a game changer. Like it's going to be the simple yes to everyone's question when they go to the GREC website and they see 150 choices. That one's going to be an easy yes. And because it's Keller Williams and the agency, and they're banking on you becoming a Keller Williams agent, the cost of it's probably going to be attractive too. I haven't even seen the cost, but I'll bet it's lower than the competition.
Right. I'm very curious to see how they're taking that approach to, yes, here's the technical information you got to know, but like you said, like being good, totally different thing. I wonder if we would be able to see that like without actually enrolling. I'm very curious.
I may enroll. I mean, the news just came out like 4 or 5 hours ago, but I may enroll.
First in line.
You heard it here first.
All right, Michael, are you ready?
I'm ready.
The first headline of the episode. This one says, as boomers downsize, competition grows for simpler, but not always smaller, homes. And so what the article is basically saying is the boomers who are looking to downsize, they are clashing with what is now the biggest group of home buyers, the millennials. So you got all the millennials going after those entry-level sort of smaller homes. And apparently it is disrupting the traditional cycle of the boomers downsizing into those sorts of properties. So I guess the question would be, how do you even resolve something like that?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thanks.
Yeah, caught me off guard a little. I will say that in my experience, the boomers say they want to downsize, but then when we actually try, it never seems to work out. Like, there have been numerous boomers that we work with that say, oh, we're going to downsize. We're empty nesters. We have a 4,200 square foot house and we want to buy an 1,800 square foot house. And then lo and behold, after 3 months of riding around town and talking about all these houses, we end up selling them a 4,400 square foot house that's in a different location that is newer and nicer. And they're like, oh, this is exactly what we wanted, not 1,800 square feet.
You think it's because whenever they do make that sale, thinking they're going to downsize, they got quite a bit out of their sale and they're realizing what they can actually get for it, you think?
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is when you get used to living in a 4,000 square foot house, it's really hard to live in an 1,800 square foot house.
That too, yeah, for sure.
You think that bedroom makes all the difference. Like the oldest son is gone, the youngest daughter's gone, and now it's just the two of us, and we live in this 4,000 square foot house. And you think because they're gone, it's going to be easy to move down. And oftentimes they have so much stuff, whether it's storage or they've changed that bedroom that used to be little Johnny's room and it's now an office, and the other room is now a scrapbooking room, and you got the grandkids that come over from time to time, so we got to keep a room for them. And so where am I going to do all my scrapbooking? And so then we end up with 18 turns into 22. It doesn't go straight to 4. 18 turns into 2,200, and then we're talking, and oh yeah, the dogs need a place. Like we've got 2 dogs that are like family to us, and so we got to have a place to wash the dogs. And so then the laundry room went from laundry closet in an 1,800 square foot house, because that's what you get. Yeah. That laundry closet now becomes a laundry room that also has a dog wash in it. And so before you know it, you downsized. You went from 4,200 to 3,950. Congratulations. Yeah. Right? Oh, and by the way, you paid more because it's newer and it's a half-acre lot instead of a quarter-acre lot. So I really think that's happening a lot more than maybe the boomers want to admit. And millennials are honestly, coming out of the last 18 months, millennials are wanting more space. Before, a couple years ago, minimalism was a big deal. It's like, yeah, we'll just live in this tiny house. You don't see a lot of tiny houses getting sold. Like, it's a cool thing to go for the weekend, but to live in a tiny house is not that much fun. The other thing's happening with millennials, now that you have a work from home situation, like, oh yeah, we need 3 bedrooms because it's me and the wife and our baby boy, and we need a place to have as a home office because we're literally working from home half the time. Oh, and my office has to be separate from her office because we have 2 different jobs, and there's that. And then because we have a 18-month-old, well, now, okay, grandma's going to come over and she needs a room. So the millennials also think they need 1,800 and they really want 3,000. So we end up competing for some of the same houses,
Yeah, I think too, and you're touching on this, I think, the ideal first home, the 3-bed, 2-bath thing, 1,200 square feet or whatever, I feel like that's just not cutting it for a lot of the first-time buyers. The majority of them say they want or need 4 bedrooms, and that's just not the norm at this time. But I think it will be.
Yeah, we have some new construction that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and a number of times we've heard, man, if it just had one more space, like whatever that space is, whether it's a dining room or an office or whatever, maybe even a bonus room for a rec room or something, but it always seems like we need that one more space, right? So if you're having trouble looking for that 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, maybe you need to look for a 3, 2.5, and use the keyword search with the bonus in it, right? If you see the word bonus, then maybe there is a 4th bedroom. They're just not calling it that. So that's a little, real estate search hack that you can use. Look, keyword search bonus is a good way to find that extra room.
Bonus, or try to make sure for sure if it does or doesn't have a basement. Sometimes that's not totally obvious. So yeah, like you say too, when somebody is looking for that 4th bedroom, I almost always find it through a method like you're saying.
Or if it's a 4th bedroom legit, it's like $50,000 more.
Yeah,
exactly. It is amazing the difference between 3-bedroom prices and 4-bedroom prices. There's a big gap.
Oh yeah. All right, Michael, sir, that is what's going on in This Week in Housing. I think we touched on some good stuff. Definitely we'll keep an eye out for what's going on with Zillow and their competitors with the iBuying programs. I think there's a lot to be learned paying attention to what they're up to. I'm sure you would agree.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we will wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching This Week in Housing. I'm Corey Shields.
I'm Michael Williams.
And we will see you next time.